Rich here, 2RC Productions, and doing a little work on Ryan's Vaterra, the Nissan Silvia S15. Real nice looking body. We're not big Nissan fans, but this body has just incredible detail in it. And this one only, we got him the 2014 Corvette body also, but the Corvette doesn't have any light buckets or anything. What was cool about the Nissan is it comes with full light buckets, mounting brackets, and everything for LEDs. It doesn't come with the LEDs, and the receiver is not a 3-channel, so you got to run an auxiliary battery. So I bought the simple LED controller from Axial with the 4 whites and 2 reds, and I was going to use it on my deadbolt, and I had it on my deadbolt, but I'm going to get a more intricate setup for the deadbolt because it has 5 light buckets plus headlights plus tail lights, the bumper holes. So what I decided to do is use this for Ryan's. Now the LED controller comes with the receiver hookup, the plug directly into the receiver. Well, we can't do that on Ryan's, so what I did was I wrapped an old 9 volt setup, wires in the hookup for the 9 volt battery from an old clock radio, and then splice some butt connectors in there so you can unhook those, and then if we ever want to switch it back, we can hook it back into the receiver hookup. So I just tested this out now, and it lights the lights up, as you can see, so this will work fine. And what I also did was I stopped by Radio Shack and I picked up a rocker switch. So I'm going to mount the rocker switch somewhere on the body, so when Ryan's running it, he can put his body on and stuff. He doesn't have the lights burning all the time. If he wants to turn them on, he can flip the switch, shut it off when he's not using it to save the battery a little bit. And we're going to see how the 9 volt lasts. If they go out pretty quick, I'm just going to get a rechargeable 9 volt so he can recharge it. So what we're going to do now is I've got some aluminum tape also I picked up, so we're going to start cutting some pieces here and mount all the wires in the body. And like I said, Vaterra gives you all the brackets and stuff. I got everything thrown in this coffee can that came in the bag there, but they give you all the brackets and stuff to mount all the LEDs and the buckets. So we're going to put 4 whites in the front and 2 reds in the back. Alright, we got the car up here now. This is the Vaterra V100c chassis, Nissan Silvia body, which has the LED buckets like I was saying. And what we got to do here is we're going to mount a 9 volt. And back on the diffuser here, this car comes with a diffuser. We're going to take some Velcro here, and we're going to mount a little piece of Velcro and mount that battery there. And then what we're going to do is, one thing in RC is the more you get into the hobby, the more you collect parts. As you can see, I got screw bags here, you know, all kinds of parts here and wires, and I was looking through one of my old tins, a couple speed controllers and servos and extra wires and mounts and all kinds of stuff. So you always save everything when you're doing RC, because even when you throw the old batteries out, I always cut the connectors off, because you never know if you need a connector down the line or you need a section of wire or whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount this battery here, and then we're going to put a jumper wire in there to make the rocker switch. And what I'm going to do is, this body comes with an optional rear wing. Comes with an optional rear wing that you can mount on the back of the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount that wing, and I'm going to put this rocker switch, I'm going to drill this out and mount that rocker switch right there on the back of the car underneath the spoiler, so you won't see it, but Ryan will be able to just get his finger in there and flip the switch to turn the lights on. So it should work out pretty well. So I'm going to go on to the next phase of putting the jumper wire in here and then drilling the hole and getting that set, and then I'll check back with you. Alright, what we got going here is we got a rocker switch here. If we want to get the lights to shut on and off, we have to put a jumper in there on the negative side and tie the 2 wires together to the switch, one on each side of the switch, which we're on turn, make the lights go on and off. So what I just did here was, these are soldered connections. So I got a Weller soldering gun, which is it's a pretty good unit. The one I got, you can use small soldering irons and not a gun. and they work too for hobby grade, but a soldering iron is a must when you're dealing with this kind of stuff. Now normally you have the normal Weller soldering paste and then the solder itself, but I ran out, so I'm using regular solder for like a propane torch, but it'll work just fine. So basically you get a little bit of flux on there, you heat that thing up. Flux keeps it clean and pure when you go to put it on there, cleans it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other side, if I can find that other wire here, here it is. Basically just going to put it inside there. This was an old wire, like I said, that I had laying around. And you always want to make sure you hold on to stuff, man, because you never know when you're going to use it. I don't know how many times, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, I need this. I got to run out and get something. So it's definitely good to keep stuff on hand for sure. But I'm just going to throw a little dab of solder on here just to show you. And then I'll come back after I get mounting this thing. So take the gun, heat it up for a couple seconds. The flux melting on there. And then basically what I'm going to do is I got my wire draped across the top of the lead here. It's going to burn a little bit of solder off of what I got there, get a little dab on the end of the gun. Just throw a little dab on the end there. That'll do it. Just to hold it in place. Perfect. So that part's done. Now what I'm going to do is put a butt connector on each side to splice into what I have here, and that'll take care of that. And I put longer leads on here because I want to have a little bit of room when he goes to take the body off. He's not going to be pulling on the wires. He can take the body off and the switch will be intact. Now what this thing calls for is a 3/4 hole. So I got to drill a 3/4 hole in the body and then put this thing on there that'll mount flush to the back of the car, so it'll look pretty cool. Alright, we just soldered on the connections on the back of the rocker switch, and then what we're doing now is we're going to be tying this in. So here's the one side of the switch there, that'll plug in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put a female butt connector on this side to plug back in and make it a full connection, and then we could still disconnect if we want. So basically with these, this wire is really small. I don't even know what gauge this is, but the stuff they use on these LEDs and that is really tiny. I got the smallest butt connectors I could get. So what you do is you just strip the wire back, so you got maybe a 1/4 inch or something of wire showing, and then you slide it in the end of the butt connector, going so far to make sure that you get in this area is where you crimp it. You take a set of wire strippers and you get it in there on the, right over the part where you're going to crimp there. Make sure the wire's in there, and then you give it a good squeeze and smash it down there. You can see that dimple, and now the wire's stuck in there and it's making contact on the metal. So that's all that's to a butt connector. Pretty simple. Alright, we just plugged our butt connectors in there to test her out. You see we got all our LEDs here. We got our 4 here, 4 whites, 2 reds. Here's our little rocker switch here. Now we're going to see if it works. 9 volts plugged in, and you can see we got the 4 whites, the 2 reds at the flip of a switch, on and off, so we don't have to have them on all the time when the car's plugged in. That's kind of annoying when, you know, they set these up when you buy these kits and they have the wires wired in to the receiver or whatever, so every time you turn the car on and you're running the battery, the lights are on all the time. Well, maybe during the day you don't want the lights on, like a real car. At nighttime, you want the lights on, turn the lights on. During the day, you turn them off. So this is going to be sweet. We're going to hook this switch up on there, and Ryan will have full access to turn it on when he wants and when he don't. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to drill out our holes here for the spoiler and then one in the center for the switch. We're going to pilot this. What pilot means is you start off with the smallest bit, you know, a small bit to get yourself located. If you try to go with too large of a bit, the bit could potentially walk off of your mark. And especially with light plastic like this, you can really do some damage. So you take a real small bit and you go in nice and easy. See how that walked a little bit? You got to start on nice and easy, being that it's such light plastic, you want to really be careful. There it goes. Now it's cutting. They go real slow. And we might step up a couple times because we don't want to damage this body. This body is beautiful, and we don't want to take a chance of going in with too big of a bit and grabbing the thing and winding up and really making a mess of this body. So you got to put a little bit of pressure and just barely start real slow. There it goes. See it digging? Take your time. Go real slow. Just a little bit of pressure to keep it on the mark. Okay. There's the two for the spoiler, and now we're going to do one in the center, and this is not dimpled because I just put a mark here. So we want to make sure that we hold our spot. We'll go in real easy, a little bit of pressure. Maybe on and off just a little bit. Now it's starting to cut. There we go. Okay, now you got your pilots. Now what you can do is you can step up a couple times. Go a little bit bigger, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a step drill or a unibit. These are fantastic to have for light sheet metal, you know, stuff like this, because they don't grab like a twist drill does. A twist drill, you go in there, it'll wrap up, break the plastic, twist the thing around on you. It can. The unibit will go in real nice and smooth, so I can step this all the way up to this size, maximum size. I'm not sure what size this bit is, the maximum. It looks like maybe 3/8 or something. And then we could step all the way up to the 3/4 to get our final hole for the switch to mount. I only have to step up the spoiler mounting holes a little bit, just enough to get my mounting screws through there, and that's it. Alright, we got our holes all piloted out now and stepped up the center one a little bit, and I'm going to show you how this unibit works. Going nice and easy with this, and it just, look at how nice and smooth it just, boom, there's one step, there's two steps, there's 3 steps. See it dropping down. It just does an excellent, nice job, clean hole, and it doesn't snag like a twist drill. When you start getting into a size like this on this plastic, you will just tear the crap out of the plastic. So this, now I'm about ready to break through the last. See, boom, that's it. I got a nice big clean hole. No burr, nothing on the bottom. Works fantastic. So they're very expensive, these unibits. I mean, you can spend up to about $30, $40 for a good one, for an Irwin, but they do have cheaper ones out there, and you don't need anything spectacular for doing, you know, hobby grade plastic and stuff like this. I'm going to chalk up the big size now. We'll go through with the big size, and then we'll check our switch to make sure that we got enough clearance. I'm hoping that this bit is enough to get it. So now we'll take the bigger size, and same thing, we'll step up, come in real easy with it, little bit of pressure, just a little bit of pressure. See it cutting, there's a step there, step there, step there. Now I don't want to go any bigger yet. I want to try this out, make sure that I'm not going too big with the hole here. Drop these 2 connectors down through the hole. Yeah, see, I gotta go the full size on this. This should be a 3/4. Should get me right where I want to be when I punch this thing all the way through. And you can see, I mean, this is a sizable hole to mount the switch. Doing this with a twist drill would be very difficult. You could do it, but you have to put very little pressure. Okay, see, that's even a little bit tight, but what I could do is I could thread this in there a little bit. Yeah, that'll work just fine. It's a nice tight fit. And then basically what it has on the back is a threaded ring. Pressure, thread it in there. It'd be nice to have a little bit more clearance, but this will work. Almost there. This final revolution will do it. There's just enough room to mount the spoiler. And Ryan's got enough room to get his finger in there. There she is. See, she mounted in there nice. Nice and flush. I'll put the ring on underneath there, and then we'll get mounting on the spoiler. Alright, we got the rear wing mounted, and we got the rocker switch mounted in the middle. You can't even tell it's in there. All he has to do now is put his finger in there and switch it on and off. So it's pretty cool. Now we're going to continue on. We're going to route the wires and use the aluminum tape to tuck it in real nice within the body. And after we get that all done, we'll show you a shot of that, and then we'll get it mounted on the car and see what it looks like. Alright, YouTubers, here is our finished product. Everything installed, all the wiring, the switch, connectors taped down, wiring the controllers mounted here under the tape. The 9-volt I got attached with Velcro, which seems to be holding real strong. I'm going to go to a rechargeable battery for this, so once I put the Velcro on that battery, it'll stay on that battery and won't have to worry about switching Velcro out or nothing. But you can see all the connections taped with the aluminum tape. We started out with a $27.99 Axial simple LED controller with 4 whites and 2 reds. And Vaterra, this kit happens to come with LED buckets in all 4. The other body, like the 2014 Corvette body, doesn't have any light buckets or anything. This had it set up with the mounts. So I ended up, I'm going to do something different with my SEX10, giving Ryan this setup. And we wired everything in. We had one problem where I told you that the leads were too short here to make it, so I spliced and soldered a new piece of wire in there and attached everything, and so that worked out. Kind of aggravated me, like I said. You'd think for the money you pay, $30 for a couple LEDs and that they could give you a long enough wire to span the front of a 1/10 scale vehicle. But needless to say, that's hobbying, and sometimes you got to customize stuff on the fly, and that's what we did. But what I came up with is I wanted to do this. I was going to originally mount this 9-volt on the frame, but I thought it'd be a pain. I'd like to keep it all intact on the body, so when Ryan pulls the body off, everything is intact. We did the switch in the back, which I didn't want to have the lights on all the time, so we mounted the switch in the back, and when the car is driving, I mean, you can't even tell the thing's back there. It's hidden under the wing, which worked out fantastic. So I'm going to give you a little shot of the body on the car with the lights on, so you can see what it looks like. Okay, YouTubers, we got the body on the car. I'm going to flip the switch here so you can get an idea of the LEDs on. Got the quad lights in the front, the quad headlamps, which looks sweet. They're super bright. Really finishes off the car, makes it look nice. These Vaterra cars are just absolutely phenomenal, the detail. I mean, these are the scale on-road cars for sure. I mean, they look awesome. We got the rear wing mounted, the switch is on there. You can't even tell where the switch is there because of the black wing. It just blends right in, which is what I was going for. You can see this car, it's got the dual exhaust with the quad tips. I mean, it just looks awesome. So now Ryan can ride it at nighttime when he wants and stuff, and not have to worry about crashing into anything. And it finishes off the car. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. Till next time, rate, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.